you like to address the question?
Certainly. I'm not really sure how to address your question, sir, because it was sort of phrased in the sense of the, have you stopped beating your wife?
We're gonna cut this off over here. So Eric, go ahead.
So as I was saying, I'm not entirely sure how to address this, as it is a very pejorative question. It's very akin to, have you stopped beating your wife yet? Really no good answer to this. The question was about the ideology of the board being taken over. I think we have a very high-functioning board. I respect my colleagues. There's a couple here today, and we disagree sometimes. We often argue vigorously, and at the end of the day, we shake hands, and we all operate in the principle of trying to do the best for our children. So I reject your question in the sense that the board has been taken over by an ideology, unless that ideology is students first. And in that case, absolutely, that is the ideology that we all operate under, is looking out for our students. They are the reason that we're here, so I'm proud to have it. In terms of Common Core, I don't know how to state
15, 20 seconds if you can wrap it up.
In terms of Common Core, I don't know how to state it more clearly that I am opposed to it, but I also agree that we have to follow state law, that we cannot reject the Constitution of Tennessee. And so we look to operate the very best within that. And for 3 years, all 137 school districts in Tennessee have fully integrated it. And so if you're angry about this, I would say who you need to direct your anger to is towards the politicians that brought it to us or have the ability to do it, because we as a local school board do not. And so we operate the best we can within these parameters, and within these parameters, we're doing a phenomenal job. This is the best school district in the state of Tennessee, and it's one of the very elite school districts in the nation. So,
Thanks, Eric. Gonna wrap that up. I want to make a brief statement. I really want to get away from people getting up to the mic and talking for 4 minutes without a single question, or from personal attacks. There's going to be plenty of time after the forum for you to talk to these candidates one-on-one. If you got beef or a personal problem with somebody, take it up with them there, not in front of 200 people, okay? So, and I'll cut you off.
Thank you, Chris. My name's Chuck Shelton. I live in the 4th District. I'm glad that you're running unopposed, Paul. So, but my question is for actually Eric Welch, but I have to make a statement first. A short one, but I just want to set the context. Common Core is not state law. You can look at that. The first to the top in 2010 does not mention common, does not mention core, and does not mention standards across the state law about that. But I did want to say that there are about 30 education bills at least that came through in this session. The Williamson County School Board took positions on particular ones, and I could mention them, but it would have to do with lobbyists, allowing lobbyists to allow, then allowing the county commission to make a line item veto over certain lobby expenses, etc. But my point
Can you get to the question?
I'm getting there. I really am. My point is that the Williamson County School Board could make a statement against Common Core, because that was a provision in state law. But the school board chose not to make a statement against Common Core, where they could have said, we are in favor of this bill that would eliminate Common Core, or set it back to the July 2013 standards. So to say that we're at the it's state law.
Is the question, and if I may, is the question, would you support some type of resolution that would say we're against Common Core as a school district?
Yes. Why
okay. And I'm gonna Chuck, unless you have something else to add.
No, that's it.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I don't want this to just go to Eric.
Yeah.
I want this, so what we're gonna do is not start with Eric. We're gonna start down here on this side with Melody, and we'll work our way down. And if you would like to address this question, feel free to.
The question is, why did not what would you do on the base?
Okay, I'm going to rephrase the question. My question, based on Chuck's question, is would you support some type of statement from the board to the state saying we would like to withdraw from Common Core, or we support withdrawing from Common Core?
Better than I could.
Okay,
That's good.
So we're going to start here. Maybe that's, Chuck, I don't think so, but Melody, go ahead.
I think most people that I've talked to recognize who are interested and involved and read and pay attention to the issues recognize that there are some severe problems with Common Core. And I do think that Williamson County needs to express their opinion strongly to the state legislature. I recognize that the way we work as a state government and as a local government, this issue was first brought to our state at the state government level, and I think it's best addressed there, but I do think we can have strong input into that process, and I think we should do that.
And please, excellent job. We'll ask everyone to limit their answer to 30 seconds. It's pretty simple.
I would support a resolution, and I will add, it doesn't need to be just a resolution. We need to explore every single opportunity we can of how to fight it.
That was one of the #1 issues I didn't get to when on my introduction, but the issue by far is government overreach and powers into the education system. And most people feel that Common Core has just opened up a pathway for government mandates telling us how, when, and what to teach our children.
Ditto to Dan. Secondly, I would support a very strong resolution drawn up by the local board, presented to the legislature, to the state, to withdraw and take Common Core out of our school system, out of the state system.
I do find it interesting that we have given resolutions, the school board has, on a number of issues, but has chosen to stay silent on this, and I would not stay silent on it. I would support a resolution, but I would also support us. As Dr. Looney said, a lot of the standards are flawed and they're not developmentally appropriate, they're not academically appropriate for age groups. I would be changing those standards. Until we get it changed, there are things that we can do proactively. We need to change the standards that are not good. We have a provision to do that in the state law, or in the state, in the Common Core standard.
I think our school board needs to listen to the parents and what the parents want. Parents are concerned about Common Core, and they need to speak out against it to let you know, the public, that you've been heard.
Yes, I would support a resolution to oppose Common Core. Bradley County did. There's other school boards across the nation that are doing it. If we are a leader, Williamson County is the lead county in the state. And if we lead in this, we make an example for all the other school boards. It's imperative that we make a resolution that we oppose Common Core and that our state legislators appeal it. And then we need to support those legislators as well.
So a few months back, we had a speaker come and tell us rather vociferously that Bradley County schools had rejected Common Core and we had the right to do this. And this was kind of the first time I'd heard it. So I reached out to some contacts that I had on the Bradley County School Board and asked them about this and said, well, what is this resolution? What does it mean? And I'm not going to tell you who it was because it was told to me in confidence, but he said, you know, it's to make the people happy. It's meaningless. But it puts it out there, our population, there's some angry constituents, and we've done this to appease them, and we can look like we're doing something. So we could do that in Williamson County schools, and it would make people happy, but it's not the way we operate. The resolutions that we pass are based upon specific bills. And so if there is a bill for the legislature to reverse Common Core that has an answer of what to replace it with, of what to do in its place, then I think that's absolutely something that I could support and would support.
Okay.
But it's important not to just...
So you would hypothetically support one if it were to occur?
Yes, so if it were to occur.
So we're gonna move on. Next candidate.
Absolutely, I would support a resolution to reverse Common Core. And not only that, but I think it's imperative that we collaborate not only with parents, but with our teachers, with educators, with those that understand curriculum, and then also support our legislators in Nashville.
Thank you. So 2 things. One, would anyone support a resolution to support Common Core? Okay, I didn't think so, but just wanted to ask in case there was any misclarification. And 2, there's a lot of other issues that matter in education outside of Common Core. I think we've beat up on it enough for the night. So If there are some maybe other education issues that people want to ask questions about, I think that would be great.
Okay, mine has nothing to do with Common Core. My name is Hannah, and my husband and I have 3 children. They went to Grassland Elementary and Grassland Middle School for a total of 19 years in Williamson County Schools. And because of Common Core and some other personal decisions, we decided to pull our children out, and we are homeschooling them now. And so here is my very pointed question. A number of years ago, the state of Tennessee passed legislation allowing LEAs to permit homeschool students to participate in extracurricular activities. These so-called TEBO laws have enjoyed a great deal of success nationally, but despite the success enjoyed by these laws elsewhere and the huge growth of homeschooling in this area, Williamson County School Board has consistently blocked homeschool students from participating in these activities. My husband and I pay our property, even though our children aren't in the school anymore, we still continue and will always, as we always plan to live in Williamson County until we're carried out in a pine box. So we will always have
athletics, and if they can access it or not?
Yes,
okay.
Because we pay for the schools even though my children aren't there anymore. So we have funds invested in the Williamson County Schools. Okay. So down the line,
I think the question, and let's do yes or no, because we got a lot of other questions here, and if anyone wants to expound a little bit, that's fine, but basically, would you support someone who is a taxpayer in Williamson County who has children here who are not enrolled full-time in a public school to access things such as athletics similar to the
Yes, because they have been blocked.
Okay, so let's start at the other end and work our way down.
I would definitely support it, and I think we need to go a step further, because going door to door, what I continue to hear is that more and more parents are considering homeschooling, and we need to understand, first of all, why that is, because I think when we do that, we're going to understand maybe some opportunities that we have as a school district to improve ourselves, and maybe it's something that we're doing that's driving them to homeschool. So first of all, we need to definitely seek to understand why they're homeschooling in the first place, but let's also consider some things like dual enrollment. There are a lot of things other very high-performing school districts are doing around the country, and I think instead of maybe ignoring or turning a harsh shoulder to this area of our growing population, we need to be more open-minded and collaborative and continue to have critical conversations.
I supported, I believe I may have sponsored the amendment when we discussed this 2 or 3 years ago to allow homeschoolers to participate in our schools. There was some strong disagreement on the board on that, and so I looked for some compromises. I think one of the compromise positions that we did put forward was that the students would need to enroll in at least one class, or maybe perhaps it was 2 classes, as I said it was a little while ago, but did support this and worked with a lot of homeschool groups at the time, kind of like the dual enrollment that you're talking about. Like a lot of things, when you start peeling the onion, there was a lot more to it though. It would really have only applied to high schools for one, because we have a WMMA, Williamson Middle Athletic Association, which we partner with FSSD, and so you would have to get kind of dual buy-in between the two. The second thing is the LEA, or the TSSAA, said that you have to do it at your zone school only. That was one of the rules. And the other thing is you had to be a true homeschool as well. So I know a lot of there are groups that homeschool, umbrella groups.
You wrap it up.
Right, Franklin Classical for one. I know you go on their site and it kind of bills itself as a homeschool, private school umbrella group. That would not count. You would not be able to do that. You would have to be a true homeschool parent. So when you start looking at the percentage of students actually involved, it was very minuscule.
We're gonna go on to the next candidate. We really gotta keep a watch, so if you could pass the mic.
So to wrap up, I did support that amendment.
Okay. So we're gonna really try to stick to 30 seconds, guys. Come on. If we ask students to behave in a classroom, I think we can behave up here on the thing. So let's go ahead.
I definitely support homeschoolers being able to participate in sports. They pay taxes too. And I don't understand what a true homeschooler and a non-true homeschooler is. They're either at home being schooled or they're in school in the public schools. So I think they need to stop being marginalized. These are also parents who love their children, who have made a personal decision to teach them so that they can control their curriculum and what they're being taught. I will stop at 30 seconds. Thank you.
Also, just the word yes or no works too.
I think homeschoolers should be allowed to use the public schools because they pay taxes and the public schools use.
Yes.
Ditto.
Yes.
100%. I've coached debate teams with homeschoolers before, very high standards, and I think those in public schools have a lot to learn also from those who are being homeschooled.
5 children, oldest daughter homeschooled all the way through, younger 4 children homeschooled until elementary and middle school. Depending on the child, they went in at different times. Yes, I'm real supportive of homeschool families. I've been a homeschool family, have a lot of experience in homeschooling, taught in homeschool tutorials, as I substitute taught in WCS schools. So yes, I'm real supportive of homeschool families and the access and the options that they need to give their children the best opportunity possible as well.
Thanks. So 2 quick things. I'm glad we're laughing a little bit. But 2, if you can really prepare your question to be like 2 to 3 sentences, that would be great. But then 2, I'm going to exert a little moderator privilege here. And I think, this is a great issue. I think it brings up other issues. So there's this issue about, so education funding, are we going to fund